Good morning. Good morning to you. So let me go ahead and leave this this meeting here.
Okay.
Okay. So I just walked out of a meeting. It's funny. You know, you get these individuals who telling you.
Senator, I'm sorry. Can you speak up just a little bit?
I think this is much better. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Sabrina.
Good morning.
Good morning. So yeah, you get these senators who don't allow you to do your job and trying to dictate everything you're doing, whether how to breathe, how not to breathe, and it's getting ridiculous here.
Well, I wonder who are you referring to, Senator? Don't be coy. Just put it out there.
I'm kidding. You guys know who I'm talking about.
Are you talking about the informational briefing that was held yesterday?
Well, that one too. I mean, we got to a point where I sent a message on the chat to ask, wait a minute, are we going to have a chance to speak, or is this some kind of like a feel-good
infomercial?
Yeah.
It was almost like an infomercial.
And it's like nothing we don't know. In fact, you guys provide more information than this informational briefing in the first place, and you guys will let us speak too, or ask questions, or so it was ridiculous. That's why, you know, I could look at a PowerPoint presentation, send it my way, but yeah, it's beginning to be very, very disheartening, and definitely not a dictatorship. Okay, that's what you guys been saying. It's true to the form. It's been a typical dictatorship in the legislature. And I understand that the only way for us to get any of the administration on is to not be able to ask questions. So if you want them part of your oversight,
I mean, I'm just like
the rules of engagement.
No
questions.
Then the administration, they're getting paid so much, and why are they so afraid of answering questions? I mean, you know, look at our media briefing yesterday. They haven't had a press conference. Was it the first one this week? It was.
It was the first
one.
Probably going to be the only one.
We're back to one question and one follow-up.
Right. Exactly.
And it's just, there's no explanation. That's just, it is what it is.
I think what's happening is they're using this whole, okay, we gave you a budget for the $117 million, so leave us alone, and this is what we're going to do. And by the way, the budget is flexible. So I don't think that's going to be used on us, at least us Republicans, who want accountability and transparency, and definitely want to know you're just throwing this out there to put us aside so that we don't start complaining. And that's not the case. There's so many unanswered questions, as well as the spending in this budget that we're going to go after. It doesn't make it, I'm sorry, $800,000 for a computer and add the S bags doesn't make any sense. And are you really putting this funding in areas that truly need it? I asked actually a question, speaking of that budget.
When did you ask? Not yesterday, right? You didn't ask a question yesterday because you couldn't ask any.
Actually, it was, if I'm not mistaken, with Department of Labor, and it was with Hannah, I believe her name was.
Hannah Cho,
yeah, and I asked her the question about the $100,000 that was appropriated in this budget of 117 CARES Act funding. Why only 100,000 to GCC, or even why to GCC? And they were reluctant to even tell me what it was for. It was like, well, you know, I can't really say right now. So I'm like, okay, why not? Well, we're still working on it. Think about that. So you're putting out a budget. You can't tell us what this funding is actually for in some areas. It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe that's why they didn't want to be asked questions, because every answer is going to be like, brr.
Yeah, exactly.
Did they even talk about this $12 million that the Guam Memorial Hospital received in federal funding?
No, I was hoping to ask you guys, because that's where I get all my information from.
Well, you're allowed to ask questions here. No problem.
Not Linda. Lillian was on the air this morning, and we'd asked her about federal funding for COVID that they received, and you know, she gave us a breakdown, and it totaled almost $12 million that she's going to use to pay vendors, some CIP projects, to buy a chiller, I think, for S&U. I'm not sure the rest of the breakdown, but yeah, she mentioned that they got $12 million total. That wasn't mentioned yesterday during the informational briefing?
No. In fact, I didn't hear anything with regards to that. I don't think Lillian Posadas. And then again, I left the briefing after a while because it was nothing new. They weren't allowing us to have any conversation or asking any questions or anything like that. And I thought, okay, I'm not here to look like I'm engaging in something that's good, because this is not good. You're not allowing the senators to ask questions. And it was my first time understanding the 66 questions when Speaker Barnes first came up. Thank you, Senator Regine Biscoli, for all the questions that you gave us. And I'm like, when was the opportunity given for any of the senators? I didn't know. It's like,
let's go back to the beginning of Senator. So, I mean, we all know the minority. You guys are just not in the loop. You're not in. So, who agreed to this one-way informational briefing? Was this just something the speaker arranged, and did she tell you guys, like, yeah, we're going to get them all, but you guys can only submit questions in writing on a Tuesday during an eclipse?
Right, exactly, right. No, actually it was a day before, I think, but some of us didn't get that memo.
And who, was this in a caucus, and they were like, yeah, we're cool with that, okay, I'll say aye, you're okay, all right, or was it just something that it is what it is?
Well, based on my experiences and what I've been watching, how they're maneuvering here, I think what happened is that the speaker wanted, like all the other majority oversight chairs are pumping out hearings or oversight hearings, and the only way they can get the administration on is to have the agreement that, okay, we'll come on, but we don't want to answer any questions. We'll just give you a briefing. So I'm pretty sure this briefing that happened was a compromise with the speaker and the administration. Okay, we will have I'll put a briefing together so we can inform the public. They should just plug into KUAM, but inform the public about what's going on, and we will submit questions afterwards. I'm like, that's not the way it rolls for transparency.
That's what I don't get. It's like we had
that's the reason why she was able to get only able to get the administration to come on.
I mean, you guys can subpoena these people. Why are we playing nice? You had to do a whole bill about transparency. The governor shut it down. She wrote a mean letter to the legislature.
I just think screw these information briefings and just have oversight hearings.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys are playing nice. I mean, I know you're not really playing nice, but...
Well, I try to play nice.
I mean, and on the speaker's part, Senator...
I write my fair share of letters
to
the governor, requesting things, and trying to speak with directors on getting information. But, they're all on lockdown, definitely with the Republicans. But I think the people, that's what we're going to reach out to, the people of Guam. Because if we can't get it, then we can ask the people of Guam to help us, stand behind us, and request for transparency. And that's what's been happening. Thank God, that the people are finally speaking out.
I would, and it's interesting because Speaker Barnes has kind of made this turn during this COVID crisis, and I don't know if it's maybe she sees the writing on the wall that her chances aren't looking so good because she has really been the one down there really going to bat for the administration, and then now all of a sudden it's like, no, I want to be transparent, and so she's really been banging that transparency bell. And so you would think if you've been calling out for transparency and then you arrange a hearing with the administration and the administration is like, oh, yeah, we don't want to answer any questions, put it in writing, and we'll deal with it later. I don't know. I would have been like, you know what? If you're not going to answer any questions, then how about I just subpoena you? Because I think we all thought, and not just the media, but the general public thought that this informational hearing was going to be something like a work session where you guys have the documents, you have the information. Hey, what is this? Can you tell us a little bit more about this? But instead, I mean, it was almost like an infomercial. You had the acting chief of staff, John Jr. Calvo, go on, and I didn't even know what the hell he was reading, but it was just basically like the biggest kiss butt message about the administration's efforts with COVID-19. And I was like, I put a message in the speakers chat, like, are you guys charging them for advertising? Because this sounds a lot like a commercial.
It's so true.
I mean, you know what part I'm talking about is where he went on. He's like, I got the ending, guys. I got this.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, you can chalk it up to the people of Guam calling out for transparency, and I think that if everyone is keen to really what's going on and listening to the radio, listening to watching TV, reading the paper, understanding what's really going on in our government, it's out there. It's like right in your face. These guys are not allowing the administration, as well as the majority in the legislature, are playing games. They're playing political games. And it has nothing to do what's best for the people of Guam, but what's good for their own careers. And that needs to stop. What can we do as the minority to try and push, what's these bills that are going to help the people of Guam? What's the FOIAs that we've countlessly been putting out as well, to get answered. And if it means that we have to, really put the hammer down and subpoena, as well as, ask the Attorney General to step in here, which is another joke, asking the Attorney General to stick in.
Wait, this is not a comedy show, Senator. Easy with the jokes. This is not a comedy. This is a serious show.
That's just, we were thinking about putting teeth to Bill 333. That was just recently passed. Everyone, I think we had the whole island of Guam behind that bill on transparency. But then it boils down to teeth in it. Well, how do we put teeth in? I introduced a bill early in the game. I think I was the first one that had a bill that was vetoed by the governor. And what my bill did is the director within 30 days, or the amount he's required to put out, the report for an ARC committee group that oversees permits and things. Well, sometimes they sit on it for months and months. Anyways, if they don't do it within the time frame that they've been granted, 30 days, then they would have to have a penalty of $1,000 out of their own personal pocket for not putting the report through. It was simple as that. It's like accountability for these directors to get their job done instead of sit on it. So it was vetoed. So how am I going to do the same thing for Bill 33 that makes sure that the governor complies to all that's on there? We already received a letter from Daphne Shimzu from Department of Revenue Tax. Bless her soul, she's doing a great job. But I'm pretty sure she's being coaxed on how to reply to the legislature or bills. But sends us a letter that, we can't send you this information because of issues, I guess Social Security or personal information. But we're not asking for their Social Security number. We're asking for everything else.
Right.
We receive documents at the legislature for appointments from individuals who are appointed to boards and commissions. And in that application, you see the blackout of their address and Social Security.
Of course.
Well, that's the same thing that we're looking for on these documents. So, already for Daphne to tell us citing a law, we're not asking for Social Security. So how do we put, the feet to the fire?
Do you think it's Daphne, though, Senator, or do you think that she's just getting orders from Adelup?
Absolutely orders from Adelup. And, I'm pretty sure the ringleader there is probably Lester Carlson, because he's notorious for never answering questions, and I challenge you guys, listen to the guy when he's on air.
It's a master class. What do you call that? Master class? The master class? Yeah, he's putting on a master class on how to answer in his Lesterese, I call it. It's Lesterese.
Yeah, and I reach out to the people who've gone to continue to do what they're doing and sending out messages, sending out emails to the governor's office. You can do that. It's simple. Governorofguam.com, or call the governor's office and ask for her email and send her letters. Let her know what's going on. I don't know if...
I feel like the letters are just going to go in the Jim Moylan trash can.
But, if we don't, then for sure nothing's going to happen. Right. And that's the attitude is we can't think that. We have to keep trying, because we can guarantee nothing will happen if we don't try. So we have to continue to keep trying. I mean, if we give up, then nothing's going to happen. But I really appreciate the time that you allow
of course,
us to come on air, and Sabrina as well. You guys are, again, I can't stress how much I rely on your program to get information I need. But now's the time to start, putting down the hammer, and we're going to have to get extreme about this. Mm-hmm. And meaning extreme, we're going to have to play rough, and I really don't want to do that. Everyone knows that I'm rough already, but you really haven't seen rough yet,
Ooh, boy, you haven't seen nothing.
I'm a southern girl, and you know how southern girls are. No,
was there anybody missing from that informational hearing yesterday that you kind of expected that maybe would have been there?
And I'm sorry, say that part again.
Was there anybody from the administration who wasn't at the informational hearing that you maybe had assumed would be there?
Well, of course, the hospital. I didn't see the hospital there at all.
Was the legal counsel there?
Absolutely not. Where is he? And by the way, did Janelle ever apologize yet? I know that there's this thing trending on how many days it's been since she hasn't apologize.
Let me check my partner over here.
No, she didn't apologize.
Hey, Bree, are you sure you checked all your email? Did you check the spam folder?
No, she's not going to apologize.
How about the apology folder?
Did you get anything?
Okay. I got to check my...
So it seems that you have a group of people who are being, protected, or at least
I don't know, but
in some way.
I feel like if I'm the communications director and the lieutenant governor of Guam tells everybody that I should apologize, maybe I might apologize. But you know what had happened, and I just want to, for the clarity, is the policy director, Carlo Branch, he issued an apology, and then when we'd asked him, he basically said, "Hey, I'm her boss. I'm taking responsibility for it. This is what you're going to get. This is and so you guys can clamor all day about an apology from Janella, but Carlo Branch absorbed the blow for her and said basically like, we'd asked him about it. He was like, yeah, well, I'm her boss and I'm responsible. Wow. Which I'm like, well, the lieutenant governor told her to apologize, so.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's one thing. The lieutenant governor has been coming out. He's putting himself out there, so kudos to that. I have to put my hat out for that.
Kudos. I think it's weird. He was in a press conference yesterday, and he spoke, and everyone was like, oh, my God, he can talk. What? He talks on our show, but these press conferences, when he sits there, people are just like, why aren't you talking? Blink twice if you're okay.
Well, I tell you, he's taking my calls. Whenever I've called him,
he takes
one
ours
person
too.
Who's done. So thank God, there is some kind of connection there. But, still the other letters that we've been writing to the governor is still come unanswered, So, like I said, we have to just keep trying. People need to speak their mind, and I need to get back because there's a public hearing.
Go for it. Okay.
Yeah, and hopefully this is regarding the election, by the way.
Special election.
Not special election.
The election
in general.
There's an election. Oh. That's right.
Oh, yeah, coming up, and then possibilities on how to move forward with coronavirus. Right. And I gave some suggestions to. I went and filed yesterday for re-election, and I humbly ask your audience for your support. And when I went there, I was telling them that how are we going to do this election if we're still down in condition 2 or even in 3 or whatever condition the governor wants to maintain her emergency, health state of health. But I said that we can have this election in 3 days is an option. You'll have from A to L, and then M to on for 3 days, spread it out, and then you can have like how they have these tents pulled up where the cars can come through, like how they do for the COVID testing in states and areas, and you can have those who are 55 and older go through this tent, provide them a ballot, let them do it within their own safety of their car, filling it out, and then putting it in the envelope, having a poll watcher right there, taking the name, and then let them go through. So it's an option there. So I'm hoping to hear what they have to say on this public hearing right now. So
okay, well, go ahead.
Anyway,
Thank you,
everybody, and take care.
Wash your hands. Be safe.
Okay, always.
Ask a lot of questions.
Bye, Sabrina.
Okay.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
All right, 924. Minority Leader, Senator Telo Taitague. Hey, we're going to take a break, and we've got Joe from the American Cancer Society coming up on what would have been a relay for life Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
so
one of our favorite events.
I love that event.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They're every year.
You ever get the feeling, though, at Relay for Life that you're just going around in circles?
Okay, let's go.
All right, we're going to take a break. It's the KUAM News Takeover, Guam's favorite containing COVID. Good morning.
Now more than ever.
Keeping you informed, KUAM News brings you Banking 671, brought to you by the Bank of Guam, the People's Bank, and Coast 360 Federal Credit Union.